In the heart of a small Liberian village, beneath a mighty tree where time seemed to pause, two children made a promise. Daniel and Lucy, young, innocent, full of dreams. "Promise me," Daniel said, swinging beside her, "you'll always be my best friend." "Always and forever," Lucy replied, grinning. They carved their initials into the bark, a memory sealed by laughter and the setting sun. Years passed. Daniel left for the city with ambition in his eyes, and when he returned, he kept his promise. He found Lucy, still radiant, and after rekindling their childhood bond, he asked for her hand in marriage. They were young, hopeful, and when their baby girl Grace was born, life seemed perfect. "I'll protect you both, always," Daniel whispered, holding his daughter. But fate doesn't always honor promises. The factory downsized. Daniel, the provider, was let go. "I'm sorry, Daniel," the manager said. "We have to let you go." At first, Lucy stood by him, but days turned to weeks, weeks into months. Daniel tried. Oh, he tried. He walked miles with resumes, faced rejection after rejection. Lucy grew bitter, impatient. "What are we supposed to eat, Daniel? Dreams?" "I'm doing my best, Lucy." "Well, your best isn't enough." And soon, the whispers began. The phone calls at night. Strange men. Suspicion turned to truth. One day, Daniel returned home to find Lucy with a packed suitcase. "I'm done," she said coldly. "And Grace?" "She stays with you. I need to live." No tears, no goodbye, just silence. Daniel fell to his knees, holding Grace close as the door slammed shut. The seasons turned. Grace grew, bright, curious, full of her father's love. Daniel, broken but determined, took whatever job he could find, eventually becoming a gateman in a wealthy estate. A modest position, but enough to feed and clothe his daughter. They lived in a tiny gatehouse, no luxuries. But every night, Grace would say, "Papa, you're my hero." One day, a luxury SUV rolled past the gate, and stepping out was Lucy, elegant, wealthy, married now to a businessman named Mr. Richards. She had everything she once desired, except one thing, a child. She stared at Grace, the daughter she abandoned, and then at Daniel, the man she left behind. She visited again and again. "I'd like to be in her life," she said. "You don't deserve that chance," Daniel replied. "I've changed." He was hesitant, but for Grace's sake, he allowed small visits. Lucy brought gifts, dresses, toys. Grace beamed, unaware of the history. Daniel watched silently, heart torn between protecting his daughter and fearing Lucy's manipulation. Then came the whispers again, from the mansion. Mr. Richards, Lucy's rich husband, had found out about Daniel, about Grace. "You lied to me." "She's my child," Lucy snapped back. "Then go. Leave with them." And she did. Again. But not to run, this time to return. One rainy night, she knocked on the gatehouse door. "Daniel, I want to make things right. I want to be part of Grace's life again." Daniel stood in silence. "You left us. Twice. I know, and I regret every second, but I'm here now. I'll prove myself. For her." So they began. Slowly. Co-parenting. Conversations. Forgiveness didn't come easy, but Grace smiled brighter. Her drawings included both of them now. The little gatehouse, once filled with pain and survival, now echoed with cautious hope. One afternoon, as the sun dipped below the hills, Grace sat between her parents on a park bench. They watched the world in silence, not as lovers, not as enemies, but as two people trying to be better. "Papa," Grace whispered. "Yes, my love? Can we always sit like this?" "As long as I live," Daniel said, tears in his eyes. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. As weeks turned into months, something began to shift. Not just in Lucy, but in Daniel too. He had spent years in the background, humbling himself to be a father first and a man second. But now, the spark in him, that fire he once carried in his youth, began to reignite. He applied for night school in management, took online courses during his lunch breaks. He read books, watched tutorials. He invested in himself. One evening, he was called into the estate's main office by the property owner. "Daniel," the old man said, peering over glasses, "you're too smart to be watching a gate. My son needs someone trustworthy to manage logistics at his firm." Daniel was stunned. It didn't happen overnight, but Daniel went from gatekeeper to supervisor, then coordinator, and eventually project manager at a reputable import company. He moved Grace into a 2-bedroom apartment in the city. They had their first proper dining table, a fridge, a small television. Laughter filled the space like never before. One afternoon, Lucy visited unannounced, still elegant, but quieter, softer. She looked around the modest home with eyes that betrayed both admiration and shame. Grace hugged her. Daniel stood in the kitchen, arms folded. "This is lovely," Lucy said, glancing around. "You've done well." Daniel nodded, polite but reserved. "I was hoping," she added, "we could spend more time together, the three of us." A long silence followed. Daniel finally stepped forward. "Lucy, I need to say something." She looked up, surprised by the firmness in his voice. "You don't get to smooth your way back into Grace's life like none of it happened. You left her. You left me. In the worst season of our lives. I begged, I pleaded, and you chose comfort over family." Lucy blinked. Words failed. "This home," he continued, "this peace, it wasn't given, it was earned, brick by brick, scar by scar. You don't get to show up and rewrite history because your new one didn't work out." Tears welled in her eyes. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Daniel exhaled. "You are her mother. I will never stand in the way of that. But understand this. Grace's trust must be earned, not demanded. And mine. You lost that a long time ago." Lucy nodded, silent. A tear slipped down her cheek. She looked at Grace, now sketching something at the table. The child looked up, innocent, hopeful, and smiled. Lucy smiled back and whispered, "I'll try to be better." Daniel watched her walk out the door, slowly, with humility. And for the first time, she didn't slam it. Life didn't return to how it was. It moved forward. Daniel rose. Grace blossomed. Lucy began her own healing, this time away from shortcuts. And though scars remained, love found a quiet way to coexist with truth. Our cherished viewer, what is the moral lesson you've taken from this video? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. We'd love to hear your view. Thanks for watching News TV. For more inspiring African faith-based stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.